You know, deep in the heart of Cambodia, there's this one story, one that's been passed down and cherished for, well, for generations. It's a classic tale, yeah, it's about love and ambition, but it's also about this one, single, pre-radical idea. So let's dive into the world of Kolab Pailin, which translates to the Rose of Pailin.
So let me ask you something. Can a person's character truly outweigh their social status? I mean, it's a question we're still wrestling with, right? What really makes a person who they are? Is it where they come from, the family they're born into, or is it something deeper? The content of their character. Well, way back in the 1940s, a Cambodian novel took a huge swing at answering that question, and wow, did it shake things up. It basically challenged the entire fabric of their society.
All right, so let's get into it. The Rose of Pailin. And just so we're clear, this is so much more than just a simple romance novel. No way. Think of it more like a cultural landmark. It was a story that basically took a hammer to these super old, rigid traditions about wealth, class, and even what love was supposed to be. It was revolutionary, proposing a totally new way of looking at the world for an entire nation.
At its heart, that's what this story is really all about. It's about the power of being a good person, of having virtue, in a world that's obsessed with class and status. The reason it's still so powerful today is because of that central conflict, right? It's the hand you're dealt in life versus the person you actually choose to become. Are we just a product of our background, or do our integrity and the choices we make every single day, do they matter more?
So to really dig into that big question, the novel gives us our hero. He's the guy who lives this struggle, a young man named Chao Chet. And let me tell you, his ambition is about to send him on a journey that's, well, it's a total collision course with destiny.
So, here he is, Chao Chet, an orphan from a really poor background. And when you look at him on the surface, he's got nothing. Literally, no family, no money, no powerful friends. But his real treasure, his true wealth, it's all in the inside. He's got this rock-solid integrity, an incredible desire to work hard. He is just determined to rewrite his own story. So he does something crazy. He bets it all, leaves everything he knows behind, and heads for the gem-rich region of Pailin, chasing this glittering promise of a better life.
Okay, so now we're getting to the juicy part. Trials in the gemlands, love and obstacles. Because, as you can probably guess, the shiny gems buried in the ground in Pailin, they're not the only treasure he's going to find. This journey he's on to build a future for himself, it's about to turn into a battle for the heart. And it's going to pull him into a conflict that will test everything he's made of.
I want you to just picture this scene for a second. Chao Chet arrives at this huge estate owned by a wealthy gem mine owner. This guy has known nothing but poverty his whole life, and now he's standing in front of a world that is completely, totally different from his own. I mean, we're talking about a level of luxury that might as well be on another planet. He is an outsider 100%.
And then he sees her, Kuniri, the owner's daughter. She's not just beautiful, she's brilliant. People admire her so much they call her Kolab Pailin, the Rose of Pailin. And in that one moment, looking at each other across this massive, impossible social gap, something just sparks. It's a connection, one that makes no sense, that defies all the rules of their world.
And man, is that gap huge. Let's just break it down. Chao Chet on one side, an orphan, poor, a total unknown. On the other side, Kuniri, the daughter of a wealthy lord with high social status, surrounded by luxury. So where she is rich in fortune, he is rich in character. It's like society built this giant, unbreakable wall right between them. And the whole story, really, is about one thing. Can love and integrity be powerful enough to tear that wall down?
So this is it, a heart's true worth, the ultimate test. This is where everything gets put on the line. Because, talk is cheap, right? It's not enough for Chao Chet to just be a good guy. He has to prove it. He has to show everyone through his actions that his character, his heart, is worth more than all the glittering gems in Pailin combined.
And that brings us to the core message of this entire book. True wealth is not in the gems we find, but in the goodness we possess. I mean, that's it right there. It's not about what you dig out of the ground, it's about what's inside your soul. But here's the problem. In a world that only cares about your family name and how much money you have, how on earth is a poor orphan supposed to prove something like that?
So Chao Chet is up against it. He's facing all this prejudice and suspicion. People look at him, see his poor clothes, and they just assume the worst. But he doesn't argue, he doesn't complain, he just works. He responds with his actions. His honesty is unshakable. His kindness is constant. His work ethic is just relentless. And slowly, little by little, all those good qualities start to chip away at everyone's prejudice. And most importantly, he starts to win over the one person whose opinion matters most, Khun Neri's very powerful and very skeptical father.
And this is what it all leads to. The novel's resolution is so progressive for its time. I mean, it basically argues that who you are, your virtue, your education, is way more valuable than who your parents were or how much money you have. It's a huge statement. Chao Chet proves his worth not with gems or gold, but with his goodness. And in the end, that's what wins him Khun Neri's hand in marriage. And you have to understand, back in the 1940s, this wasn't just some fairy tale happy ending. This was a revolutionary idea.
And that revolutionary idea, it didn't just stay on the page. No, it spread like wildfire. It seeped into the national consciousness, and it turned this one simple story into a foundational piece of modern Cambodian culture. It's a novel that left a lasting legacy.
I mean, get this. This novel has been taught in Cambodian schools for over 70 years. Just let that number sink in. 70 years. That means we're talking about multiple generations of people growing up with Chao Chet's story as a kind of moral blueprint. They've absorbed these powerful lessons about character, about dignity, and about what a person is truly worth.
And that's why it was so huge. It laid out these key themes that really did reshape the nation's values. It championed the virtue of hard work. It stressed the importance of education. It pushed the idea that true love can and should transcend social class. But the biggest takeaway was this: your character is the ultimate measure of who you are. The book was offering this whole new modern vision for Cambodian society. It said, hey, maybe a nation's strength isn't about old, rigid class structures. Maybe it's about the goodness of its people.
When you look at Kolab Pailin, it's just incredible proof that a single story really can change a nation's heart. It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? What stories from our time will be remembered for changing minds a generation from now? What are the stories we're telling today that might just redefine the world of tomorrow?